I very typically start, so if I've got a bare field and I just want to cultivate the soil and want to, bring some life into it without having to import lots of organic matter. And if I want food for a long period of time, I'll always start with radishes and mustards. But not in the typical way. So with the radish, I'll broadcast lots. So I'll take a plot which is very poor quality, and I'll broadcast radish on it. I'll put whatever mulch material I can find, twigs, this, that, anything, any organic matter that I can find, just to start this process off. And with the radish, I allow them to grow. And I very rarely, I'll take a few actual radish roots occasionally, but largely I let them just grow to their full size. And all the time I'm eating, so if I broadcast something like February, by March, I've got some greens going, obviously depending on the season. It's not, sometimes, you've got weird changing seasons. But typically by March, I will start having greens. And so I can't start eating greens. I take, little bits from each plant so that it can continue to grow. And in fact, pretty much I can say the same pattern for the mustards as well. Then I'll let some really go to flower, and some I'll eat. I'll continuously be eating the flowers. I'll let some go to seed pods. And in the meantime, others I'm kind of keeping a little bit smaller and not letting to go to seed and what have you. And I'm just continuously eating the greens from that, leaves from that. The ones that I let go to seed pods, if you've never had a radish seed pod, my word. I just remember as a child, my mum used to feed us these, and they were just like really, because they're peppery, they're like crunchy, they're just like, wow, it was always a real favorite time of year. And if you notice how both the like white mustard, for example, and radish are part of the same family, Brassicaceae, and the way that they put their seeds on is they will, or flowers and then seeds, is they will kind of, as it grows, it will put on some seeds on the side, and then grow a little bit more, put some more on, and then more, and then more. And so in the meantime, the bottom ones are always ripening. So you'll have on the same thing, the same stem, you'll have some that are ripe, some that are getting ripe, some that are just forming, some that are still flowers, some that are just buds, all the way down. So you can continuously just keep harvesting. You can continuously and it just keeps doing this. And so you've got these seed pods for about 4 months of the year. You've got the green leaves for about 9, 10 months of the year sometimes. So I was last harvesting them. I was still harvesting some in December, January. So you've got a really long season. You can do this for both the mustards and, as I say, radishes. And in the meantime, you've also attracted lots and lots of insects to your place, which then helps pollinate all the other perennial things that you've got in your garden. You've also reconditioned the soil, because whatever, different insects and animals, as they come and eat and poop, and whatever organic matter falls to the ground, you're cultivating quality soil with one simple trick, and you've got food all year round. Compare that to a carrot or what have you, which you grow in the ground. You wait and wait and wait and wait, and once it's ready, you pull it up. You maybe eat the greens. Some people do. Many people, for some reason, don't. Maybe you put that back in and compost it down, but you've just got one harvest, one time of the year, on that one same piece of land. Whereas my way, I've got harvest for anything from 6 to sometimes even 12 months of the year. Or in this case, with the annuals, at least 10 months, just from an annual continuously. So those are some favorites. Another annual, another tuber So I'll get onto the perennials in a moment, but another really great one for me is sweet potato, because sweet potatoes, you know, so from one potato, you can maybe get 20, 30 slips coming up. So when you plant it, it will put on some shoots. You can continuously break those off, root them, and then plant them out. And yeah, each one, I think you can get at least 30, sometimes 40 slips from one sweet potato. And the great thing really is that apart from getting sweet potatoes, if you allow it to, is you can eat the leaves. Don't do this with ordinary potatoes. Ordinary potatoes are a totally different family. So I'm not suggesting eating the leaves of normal potatoes, but sweet potato, which is actually more close. It's in the same family as, you know, what's that in English? Morning glory, bindweed, and things like that. It's in that family. It's got nothing to do with the, you know, nightshade potato family. So yeah, and in Asia, people eat the leaves. It's a, and again, it's like you've got leaves for at least 8, 9 months of the year once you've got it going. And I've even still got one from last year that I pulled back inside, and it's still growing, and I'm still eating some leaves from that. It's not so productive anymore, but you know, but it's, yeah, it's a long season and a lot of leaves and a lot of greens just from one thing. So the other ones that I mentioned earlier are the kind of perennial kales and the, you know, the tree collards and things like that, which, you know, is just, it's, again, it's another brassicaceae, but it's a perennial, or it typically, for me, they last for about 8 years, something like that. And you just keep pulling off the leaves, eating it, pulling off the leaves, eating it, and so on and so forth. Pull off a woody branch, stick it in the ground, you've got another plant. Perpetual spinach is another really super easy one. It they're actually chards, and you know, so like the rainbow chards, most people will know that the kind of beautiful colored, you know, red and yellow and white and green chards. Those are so simple to grow, and again, they're going to be giving you yield all year round, and they'll just keep coming back year after year after year after year. It's a really simple one. One that some people might turn their noses up at a little bit, but for me is really fantastic, are Jerusalem artichokes, sometimes known as fartichokes. When you've eaten them, you know why. So they, because they're beautiful. This beautiful sunflower type plant that just, you know, grows in this big patch. It's really attracts insects. It cultivates your soil. It produces huge amounts of biomass that you can work back into your garden again, and, you know, close this nutrient loop cycle. And it produces so many tubers. And you know, and once you've got it going, you can't dig all of them up, so you don't ever have to plant it again, because you'll forget some and it will just keep coming back again and again and again. And so, you know, and there's lots of tricks as to how you make them more edible. Me personally, I lacto ferment them, and so they remain beautiful, crisp, crunchy, but also they have a probiotic effect as well because of the lactobacillus fermentation. And yeah, and so you can keep them all year round. So that's another good one.